Okay, problem number 1. I'm given 2 points and I want the rate of change. That means we want the slope. So what do we do? Let's watch. I can create a table. Now I need to find the change in y over the change in x. What does that mean? Well, how many steps did I have to make in order to get to -1? So let me write here beneath the y column 2, 1, 0, -1. I'm going down 1 step, down another, down another. And I know I'm going down because 2 is above 0. So I have gone down 3 steps. This is the change in y. Now let's find the change in x. I am at 1 and I have to walk up to get to 5. So 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, up 4. So my change in x is +4. So really what we did was subtract. We found the difference. But doing it this way avoids issues that you may have with negatives. So now we write the change in y over the change in x, which is my rise over run, -3 over 4. I have my slope, my rate of change. That means the answer is B. You can check your work using menu 613 if you're using an Inspire. So let's do that. We are performing a linear regression. You have to press Control and then the right parentheses button, so this one, so that you'll get the brackets with the curves. Now let's put the x values here. 1, 5. Put in the y values. Press enter twice. And I see N, and I also see B, the y-intercept. Press menu 2, 2. Press enter. And look. Everything's in fraction form. So we can now write the equation of the line that passes through these 2 points in slope-intercept form. (11/4). Now let's write an equation in point slope form. We need a point and the slope. Well, here's the slope, so let's write that here. Pick a point. Let's choose the one with the negative. Okay, 5 is the next value, so he wants to sit inside the parentheses with his friend. Now, the y value, -1, be careful. They did not do you a favor and put the negative for you. You have to actually write it. And when you do, this minus becomes a plus sign. Let's look at the next example. Ooh. Of course, you are going to read this question. So please do not think that me jumping into the problem means not to read it. I just know if the video is too long, you guys will zone out. Nonetheless, it asks for the rate of change, so I need M. I need the slope. I have 2 points. And I'm telling you today in class, we are writing equations of lines given 2 points. We are finding the slope given those 2 points. Did you realize when finding the slope, given those 2 points, you can also write the equation? It's very simple. You just need the y-intercept for slope-intercept or a point. Now that's enough talking. Let's do it. Now, I know a lot of what I said did make sense. You probably just sat there and wondered, when is she gonna shut up? Okay, I'm at 80. I am moving which way to get to 0? Of course, down. I'm at 0, I'm moving up. So this is the change in y over the change in x. Now, a few moments ago, we were saying you could find the slope given these points. But then you could also write the equation of the line if the y-intercept is given. Let's plug in the m, which reduces to be -4. So the answer to this question is G. Put in the y-intercept, which is B, 80. That means this graph will have a point on the y-axis sitting at 80. Now we need to write this in point-slope form. Okay. We need a point and a slope, or excuse me, the slope of this problem. So the slope is -4, put that here. Now we need a point. Ooh, we have several. Not just these two, I could find others. However, 20, 0 works fine. We're done. If you would like to simplify that, you can. The 0 would go away. The -4x, keep that in parentheses. And it's still in point-slope form. Now, if you wanted this to look like the slope-intercept form, you could just distribute. -4x, +80. All right, now we need the slope phrase. It says here that x has to be the number of hours. Ooh, look at this. F of x. that's referring to y, it has to be, must represent the amount of water in the tank. Ooh, in gallons. Ooh. So let's write the phrase that represents the slope. -4 is m. I am going to decrease 4 gallons. If I say I'm going to decrease 4 gallons, who am I? The water is going to decrease 4 gallons. Y per X. Now look at this. The decrease represents the negative. Look, -4 gallons per hour. That's the same thing as -4 over 1. -4 over 1. You just never see the 1. So you could say the water is going to decrease 80 gallons every 20 hours. Now, of course, we know this is the x-intercept. So it will actually stop at 20. And then you would go into the negatives. So try not to use the x-intercept when you're writing your slope phrase. That's why they ask you to reduce. Good job. Okay. So we see that the water is decreasing 4 gallons every hour, which is why you have to be careful with the numbers you choose to put into your slope phrase. So now, what does this mean to you? We write our point, number of hours is what the 0 stands for, and 80 represents the number of gallons. So if I'm talking about the number of gallons I have before time began to pass, this would be the starting amount of water in the tank. The x-intercept. What's wrong with that? I am on the x-axis, so I put the number in the x spot. $20 represents the number of hours. 0 represents what? The number of gallons. If I have 0 gallons, what does this mean? This is how long it took for the tank to be empty.